Good to see you, Josh Lucas. How are you, sir?
Very happy to be here.
Very thrilled that you are indeed here. Okay, there's so many different ways to go with this conversation. Ford versus Ferrari. Now, when I saw it and I went into it thinking, in all honesty, because I was totally blind as to what it was about, I thought that the Christian Bale character was driving a car, and the Matt Damon character, who plays Carroll Shelby, one of the most famous drivers who became something completely else in terms of I guess the
designer builder,
the grandfather of designing and building.
Sure.
I thought that they would be the antagonists in a way, and they're the protagonists on the same side. What do you want people to know about this movie before going into it, Josh?
I think it's rather clear that this is a fun race car movie, and the reality is, I think what you and I were just talking about before the segment began, which is that the movie is deeply about something else. It's not just about friendship. It's not just about America. It's about history. It's about corporate politics. It's all these incredibly deep and interesting ideas that are underneath it, which is, yes, it's a thrilling Disney race car movie, but it's actually it's very interesting. I think maybe Christian Bale is probably the most interested in race cars. Matt Damon, the director, myself, none of us kind of thought or cared about race cars at all.
Right.
We were really interested in the human drama of it all, or the human story that is so much more alive. And so we were saying, John Bernthal, a really wonderful actor, took his 6-year-old and his 8-year-old to see the movie. And not only did they really love the movie, but the next day they had this really deep and long conversation, the two boys, about the ideas of the movie, because they wanted to know, like, why would my character, I play this guy, Leo Beebe, why would he not want the best race car driver? And John Bernthal was trying to help them understand the idea of what it meant to be a bohemian, what it meant to be somebody who is, you could say, even in today's vernacular, a degenerate.
Right. That he was very uncorporate, like, Ken Miles, the race car driver who Christian Bale plays, very non-Ford, not buttoned up, not suited like you would be. You're a slick executive for the Ford Motor Company, and he is just an absolute total wild card driver that you clearly need behind the wheel of a car. Right, he's an individual, and it was just fun watching all of these vast characters just bash into one another around an amazing time of race car driving back in 1966 with the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And there were some neat moments that looked like the Wild World of Sports from way back in the day, ABC's Wild World of Sports.
It's very interesting. Do you know this? Bob Iger is the head of Disney.
Sure, I've heard of him. Yes, I've heard of him.
Well, no, but he was the producer on that segment.
No kidding.
In 1966, he was
for the Wide World of Sports.
For the Wild World of Sports, that's how he started. He was a sports producer for ABC. Very few people know this about him, and he particularly has a passion for this movie. Oddly enough, for Glory Road as well, because that's the world he comes from.
No kidding.
Yeah. Get Bob Iger on the show. All you have to do, you could ask him. He will come on this show because he would like to talk about his book.
I'm sure he's selling a book.
No, his book, his story.
I know he's selling. I know he's selling a book right now. And obviously,
be there in a second.
For more of the Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.